Hello, my name is Mackie, and welcome back to a non first stand report Mackie Speaks investigation. Now, I know what you're thinking, Akeem. Are you going to review the series and all that stuff? Sometimes, when the series are just getting ass whooped, or pretty much like the series have like little to talk about, that's pretty much the time that I feel like I don't have to do about the series. I mean, what am I going to supposed to do? Talk about, Lion getting slapped by the best team in the world, or JDG crushing all of Brazilian hopes? I mean, I just can't. I just don't think we have any analytical purpose to do that. I think Poro did that, and everybody else has kind of did that. So I just don't think we have to do anything much. And sadly, at this point, I don't think tomorrow's going to be any more better. Although you could say that G2 and maybe Lion can take some games out of them, but even way, I just don't see that happening. In fact, throughout this entire tournament, we only seen two 3-2 series leads and all 3-0s. Not a single 3-1 series. Not even gentleman sweeps, to be honest. It has been brutal. And by the way, four of those sweeps come against like the LPL and the LCK teams. That is a worrying trend. But I decided to go to the really highly usage of Reddit to use it as my jumping point for all of this. Now, Mr. Pat Madatang 27 posted on Reddit just a few hours ago, but pretty much like make the point that first stand 2026 is on pace to be the most one-sided major international in LoL history. Let me just say it again. First stand 2026 is on pace to be the most one-sided major international in LoL history. And that is a worrying trend. Now, as of today, I'm recording this at 15 minutes past 10 p.m. on this day, the 19th of March. It might come out pretty much later. I think it might gonna come out this morning or probably like that if you check the feeds. Probably gonna come out tomorrow. But I think the point remains. As of the 19th of March, 6 out of 8 best of 5 matches at First Stand 2026 have been 3-0 sweeps, and none even remotely competitive. I look at the 16 international tournaments with at least 7 best of 5s played, at least an 8-team knockout, and compare them using two measures: percentage of best of 5s at ended 3-0, and average number of games played per best of 5. As you can see here, you like all the other stuff. You like MSI last year with the most competitive with all the best of 5s. You see some of them are going through like Worlds. Most of them are competitive. MSI, of course, with the last 2 years of using the best of 3 bracket. And then you got 2015 Worlds, which are the least competitive. That was when I think this is where I don't well 2013 was the Fnatic one. 2014 was the team one. Oh, I think 2015 was when Taipei Assassins, won the no Taipei Assassins won in 2014. 2015 was the first year team one. That was the rookie faker year. And then you got this old little small thing of first stand 2026. And this is where the worry comes in. Now, in this chart, we see first stand 2026 has the highest percentage of sweeps, 75%, and the second least average games at 3.5. The closest comparison is World 2015, where no match even went to 5 games, which ranks second in sweeps, 4 out of 7, and at least average games 3.43. There are 5 remaining best of 5s of the first stand. 2 tomorrow, or 2 pretty much after this video, but 2 tomorrow at the time of recording, 2 more on Saturday, and 1 more on Sunday. And they needed only 2 more sweeps to be guaranteed first stand will be the highest sweep percentage of all time, which is looking increasingly likely with G2B VRX, Lion versus JDG, and whoever faces Gen G in semis. And as a Gen G fan, I also wish for a sweep in the finals, but one must not be too greedy. Well, you are pretty much out there, man. It's also ironic that the lowest sweep rate and the highest average games in best of five is only 8 months ago at MSI 2025. Only 5 of the 19 sweeps and 4.21 potential games played. If we remove play ins and just look at the 8 team double elimination bracket, which contained 3 LCK LPL and 4 non LCK LPL teams, just like the first stand 2026, it was just 3 and 14 sweeps and the same 4.21 average games played. Now, is it a format issue, or has the gap between LCK and LPL and the other regions gotten bigger? Now, I will probably go down to the Reddit comments, and there'll be some few like small responses. Of course, I will have my take, but I decided to go to the other Reddit comments and say it's been pretty boring to be honest. Skip the tourney and just do BLG Gen G best of seven. So it, um, there is Gen G gonna 304 times. Um, didn't even watch today's game when it looked like another day of storms after the first 12 minutes. I just quit the stream. Agencies make Western ones look like emeralds and with inflating MMR. They got bullied by master players. EUA Masters is ironically just more fun to watch. Even if games go 3-0, there was some life into it. Not just 25 minutes of one team walking another 4 games in a row. Okay. It said, yeah, that first match between BLG Freeze and Fearx is the most exciting one. And this is from Def Not Alter. It said, I swear LEC viewership is going to be beyond dead next split if G2 get destroyed by Fearx 2. Don't forget, this team ran through EU players almost no sweat. Final went to 5 games, but G2 threw huge leads in the last game and game 5. The rest of EU is much, much worse at the moment. Also, despite Fearx being here, fans are by default going to think T1 and HLE would have been tougher competition. In a way, Fearx are still viewed as LCK 4th seed. Okay, I think you have a point there. It said if you watch LEC based off of G2 success at internationals, you would have stopped watch 4 years ago. The league has more things going on than just international results, but okay, fine. People literally watch NA seeing die because of that mentality, and Brazil thrive despite zero international results and learn absolutely nothing. Okay. Then there's some comments that say the most based, it's a hot minute. If you can't enjoy domestic and largely ignore international results, then I don't know what to tell you. Be happy with what you have. Personally, I love the LEC and LCS domestic games. Lots of chaos and rivalries. Honestly, probably the best thing that LEC and LCS could do is not go to international at all. Instead, host an LEC LCS tournament in 1 year. I'm sorry, dude. Dude, this is just like a copium take. He said F that take, and he's happy with any EU team going to get there internationally. And yeah, now at this rate, DNA we'll see EU and EP pack where we have our customary pair of best of one and single best of three, determined back and rights for 34 seed in the world for a full year, assuming we don't lose the CB load again. At this point, I'm all ideas for what the West needs to do to catch up East. We move our studios to Seoul and play there. Yeah, I've seen a lot of takes. I have seen a lot of takes, mostly copium takes, others like doomanism. I can totally understand. Now, let me just see if I can find my take. Where is my take? Where's my take? Where is my take? Where is my take? I think I have my take right here. Yes. So my take is pretty much, I believe it's a bit of both. But first stand was always going to be a robust tournament, all anyways, with its fast-paced week and whatnot. What really worries me and the league esports as a whole is that yes, the gap is bigger, but it shouldn't come as a surprise to basically no one. If this tournament, I was supposed to say continues, but I was hastened off, it is on Riot, not the players, not commissioners, or anyone to do something about it because at this rate, if Gen G or any Eastern team dominates the international events, including MSI, EWC, and Worlds, that will alienate the viewership and some people will only focus on LCK and LPL and probably some international tournaments, which for them is a good thing because they are the best 2 regions in the world, but also it will not make league competitive. So I'm worried about not only for first stand, but all the other tournaments as well as the development of the non-Eastern teams. And then I put it at the ending for pretty much my favorite quote. To quote a famous Jack Nicholson 1974 film Chinatown, forget it. So we said, forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown. And I think you understand what does that line mean. What is forget it, Jake, is Chinatown? It's pretty much like no matter how much you can do, no matter how many times you're trying to do it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. No, nothing you can ever do. Just nothing you ever do. And I think that's pretty much the same thing I'm going to say right there. I don't know if there's anything you want to do. Like, remember, I think let me just look at my rankings. I look at my rank. I take the rankings by the way, and I'm gonna open up the rankings, by the way. I did my rankings for all the teams, and I have all the LCK and LPL teams in the top four. But I had to put the rest, and then I had to rank the rest based on how they done it for narrative and all kind of stuff. Okay, these are the player rankings. I should do the rankings for the teams. Okay, there. This is my rankings. I think I put G2 in fifth because what they have been so dominant in all of the playoffs right now. Everybody was thinking that G2 were dominant, of course. What I did not expect it, of course, and I think from many people is that they have been tended to throw so many games, and especially game five when G2 nearly lost that game against Common Corp. Half they would have lost that, we would have seen Common Corp gone through. But even if we put Common Corp gone through, do you really think they can face off against a FairX or a BLG team? Maybe, maybe not. I also put Lion in there, and as great as an Aspire team has been, Saint has never been there before. Berserker and Oz have never been to an international stage of this hostile. And while Dokal has been good, his counter picks are getting absolutely slammed to the floor. Just because the counter picks work against the LCS teams does not mean you can do that against your JDGs and your Gen Gs of the world. I just don't see that happening. T-Sicker Wells and Loud, I think it's a whatever burger. I mean, T-Sicker Wells shows some hands, shows some ideas, plays some decent games, but never close at the lead. And Loud did put some work against Lion in this tournament, but eventually they were going to get buzzsawed everywhere, of course. And my worried right now is, what about the broadcasters? I mean, imagine if you're a broadcaster. Imagine you're Medic or Ox or Emily Rand or Raz. I don't think they should say it in the broadcast because it might get them in trouble. But how long are they going to stand there having this hope, illusion, this whole thing that it feels like the West will win when they realize it's been what, 7 long years since the Western team has ever done anything much? Like, sure, last year was great. Common Core go to the finals, the first 10 and all kinds of stuff but A was 5 teams and B, top esports were an international choker. You benefited from that. You are not going to get benefited from Gen G and JDG and even FearX being well. And even if FearX does not make it, even let's just put T1 or Honda Life Esports, they were never going to be T1 or Honda Life Esports in this tournament. So that is the way it is. Now, I believe I need to show you something. I have to show you something. Okay, let me just type it in. Yeah. So, in case many people do not know, there are two sports that I want you guys to look at. There's two sports that I want you guys that I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at two sports to highlight the point, of course. First off, is archery. This is an Olympic sport, by the way. This has been an Olympic Games thing since probably the first Olympics, by the way. Actually, it was the first 1900, the second Olympics, but it's been around the Olympics for a long time. And guess who's been dominated? The most notable trend has been the exodus of South Korean archers who have won 32 of 44 gold since 1984. 1984. Korea has been dominated this part of this sport for like what, 42 years? And if you look at the domination right now, look at how brutally dominant. Like 32 gold medals between China. Like the closest is ever 14. And Belgium with 11, and even China with 7, and the rest of them are none. And everybody's looking at it and saying, "Oh my goodness, archery is so boring because Korea just dominated everything." And I said, I mean, pound sand or something. Korea's been dominating the archery thing, and it's such a credible thing. Are we going to be up in arms, of course, when Korea just dominated in archery? We don't. We don't. We don't. We don't say like, "Oh, archery is boring," and everybody else. We don't win. Like, if Korea dominate archery, that means we don't have to watch archery anymore because we all know Korea's going to win. No, we watch because it's competitive. We wanted to see if they sweat, and if they win, fine. But if they don't, that's pretty much a bigger object. But it's not going to change the status quo. Okay, let's just look at another sport: table tennis. Thi- Okay, table tennis, another Summer Olympic sport that has been dominated by another nation. In case many people don't know, China has won a total of 66 medals in 42 events and 37 out of 42 gold. But look at the domination. China has been the best nation in table tennis every year, every single year since 1988 in almost every single Olympic Games. And I will not be surprised if the Los Angeles one, they'll be the favorites to win it all again. They have been dominant, absolute dominant. 37 gold medals. The closest we have of gold medals is three. 37 to 3. This is not even a contest. China, traditionally, are the best table tennis team ever. But many people are looking like, oh no, table tennis is going to be dominated by China. I'm not going to watch the table tennis because China dominates. Well, for everybody else, it's like, pound sand. China are good at table tennis. They've been doing that for a long time. And I think many people will be watching and admiring the domination of China in table tennis. Not just the last few Olympics, but even the next 2 years, of course, when Los Angeles happened. And if you don't like it, pound sand. It's the same thing when UConn women used to dominate women's basketball. When Manchester City won those four Premier League titles. When every single time a team just dominated the sport and make it unfair for everybody, everybody's saying that this league is not competitive. Guys, I think there is one more thing I have to look at. So Vitality. Everybody knows about Vitality, ladies and gentlemen, the best CSGO team ever. I mean, they are now on an absolute tear. An absolute tear. Now I get like CS:GO and League of Legends is a different sport altogether, but look at the domination they have. Look at how dominant it is. This is what you call domination. I believe they have won the Grand Slam already and has been dominated this CS:GO CS2 dominance for the last several years. Look at this domination. Look at all this domination. First place in most of the times. Second place, third place. They've been a top four team for the last, what, 3 years? Like the only time they've been not top four was in like 2024. That's the last time that Vitality has never. Okay, wait. Yeah, fifth and eighth, 2024. But since then, and besides the spring bounty, look at the domination. They have not been outside of like a quarterfinals place since the 24th of January 2025. That's a full year of consistency, of domination, the likes we have never seen since the Astralis days of CSGO. But many people are going to be tuned off of CS because Vitality, everybody knows that Vitality is going to win this tournament, all kind of stuff. Well, yeah, go pound sand because Vitality has been so good for so long, and we all watch domination, and we all watch the best teams compete, and we all go away the same thing and say, yeah, that team is better than everybody else. So at this point right now, there are many Western fans, and I think many Western fans can agree to all of this, is that there is a gap between the LCK and LPL, and it's big, and it's gigantic, and it's huge, and it doesn't come as a surprise because it's been coming for like years now. And every Western fan just wishes we won 2019 G2 or 2018 Cloud9 or 2017. No, no, 2018 Fnatic. We all want that. We all want that Western team, that Western hope that any region can actually win to that make it competitive. Let me just tell you something, and I'm gonna be brutally honest. If an LCS or an LEC team wins Worlds or any international, does it change the status quo? It does not. It does not even move the needle. Financially, right now, the LEC has to like move some of their games to be in the online arena. And by the way, they'll use some of the studio. Thank God for that. Cool down the rumors. And the LCS just cannot be financially stable right now because they've been stuck in Los Angeles for the longest time and have to bleed out money. Even if you win Worlds, the LCS and LEC, it does not change the status quo. Like if you win a series against the LCK and LPL teams, great, congratulations. There's the biggest moment in the history of league, but it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change the whole thing. It's not going to do anything much. It's just going to you know, push the leaves further, and it's going to lay the inevitability of I'm going to spoil it right now. We might get a Gen G BLG final. We might get an all Asian semifinals. And while it's good for the competitiveness and everybody else, and it's just so good with the river of storylines, For the West, it just feels doomed. It just feels like you don't want to watch league anymore because the Western teams are just kicking everybody's. The West is getting kicked by everybody Asian teams, and if that happens, then I think league could die. And no, not league dying because of like the money and those skin sales. Because I think it's good. I think the league esports might die because of the domination. Because look at StarCraft right now. It's been dominated by 8 Koreans for like the longest time right now. Like no international player could even come to Korea and actually win GSLs. I think there's a few that done it, but it's pretty much a moot point. The point is that I want a competitive League of Legends, but at the same time, I just don't know if the Western teams and everybody else is going to be competitive. And even if we, let's just say, move away and just get rid of the LCK and LPL teams and have our own international event and just have like 2 separate championships, it doesn't make this feel good at all. So for Riot, to quote Malphite, it's a rock and a hard place they're dealing with. They have to deal with all of this and pretty much knowing that LCK and LPL are going to make everyone their dog in every single international tournament. And I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. You're either gonna, not watch the league or just watch it and just realize, you know what? That JNG team looks really good. You know what, that BLG, even though they have been rough, they are still pretty good. So why am I the only Western fan complain about this when I just have to appreciate good League of Legends, which is something we never have in like a long time. We're never gonna catch up to the West. I feel like I can understand the doomism of many fans, and I think I can understand it's like we're never gonna win a series against the East. Of course you can. Of course you can. But the problem is it's gonna take a specific team with the right meta, the right play style, and the right mindset in order to do that. I think they can do it. I think they can do it, and hopefully tomorrow will be different. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's rough, and this first stand is going to like ask right a lot of questions in terms of the format. Which I listen, I don't have no problem with the format, but the timing of this entire event. I think David Shynock said it in a short. I think I've been doing a lot of David Shynock adoring, but I think he's more equipped of finance and everybody else than me. The fact that you actually put time at 8 a.m. East, like 9 a.m. Eastern time to 10 a.m. in Brazilian time on a weekday, it's just baffling to me. When you should have just put this whole thing on prime time. Would it suck for the Asian audiences? Yes, it sucks for like the Western, for like the European and Asian audiences. But I'm going to be saying this throughout the entire video. It's go pound sand. Go pound sand. You got to make sure that this tournament is for the fans and not for everybody else. What other people, what you do for people, what you do for some people, you cannot do it for others. You can't please everybody. Like, listen, you just can't simply please everyone all the time. That's not how business works. You gotta have to sacrifice a lot in order to make a few. Just like we're sacrificing LEC studio days in order to make it online and making more days manageable, of course, and get more road shows. We have to have short-term pain for long-term gain. And right now, this entire tournament is showing that the Western League of Legends is having some. I mean, I know this is only one tournament, but it's right now. It just feels like years and years of like we're never gonna catch up to the East. It feels doomed. It feels like we're never gonna close shop. If 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 this is not your cup of tea or anything like that, I don't think you need to watch a league anymore. I don't think League of Legends is not for you. And even if you go to a different league or something, look at Valorant. They're just dominated by Asian teams. By the way, Nosh and Redford just won Master San Diego. In fact, Asian teams have been dominating Valorant for like years now, and yet people still watch it. I mean, I mentioned about CS:GO and Vitality. You can just go to any esport and see you know players from different regions just dominate different esports, and we watch and admire and be blessed. And and I'm sorry that it's spoiling your fun, and I'm sorry that it's hurting you guys, but you gotta have to deal with it. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. You just have to deal with it, and you gotta pray for like a 2019 T2 kind of team. But I'm not sure if we ever have it. Maybe they're gonna have to revamp the whole thing, revamp the LCS and all kind of stuff. But I don't know, man. Would you rather have a region that can win, or would you have a region that can be entertaining? And right now, I think many people would rather be entertaining than rather winning. And I don't know, man. I just like I've seen the doom and gloom from many of the Western fans that are just like, listen, I want a Western team to win an international event. I want a Western team to win worlds. I've already seen it with G2 in 2019. And I've already seen like TSM win Katowice. And yeah, that's and listen, I want a Western team to win worlds. I want a Western team to win a national event. But consider how really far we are from the Eastern teams right now. Maybe we may not gonna happen. The only way it might happen is to for Riot to like, you know, push the Eastern teams away and just let the other teams from other regions do their work. But that will be like sacrilege to Kespa and the other, government and Tencent, by the way, for doing that. I don't think that will happen. So the question is going into tomorrow's series and pretty much beyond, if Lion and G2 gets eliminated, what will be the reaction to all of this? Are they going to watch the league because now four Asian teams are going to be here and just admire the great League of Legends, the great stories? Like, listen, Diable is still there. Like, if Fearx go through, many people will talk about Diable being good, and many people will talk about how great Gen G is, and BLG and JDG trying to wrestle back the domination from the LCK after so many years. There's your storyline. The storylines are right there. You don't have to be like a Western bubble sometimes. We've been all conditioned about it, but I think it's time, like the esports bubble, it's been bursting for a long time. And I think we have to come face to face and have to deal with the reality that I just do not think that a Western team can beat an Eastern team. I might get egg in my face, I might get screwed, I might get a lot of hate, but at the same time, if I learn anything from being a Man United fan, and I'm a Man United fan, of course, we have to understand that things will not get better overnight. It cannot be better over one tournament or like 1 year. It has to take 3 to 4 years to do it, and it has. But in order to do that, harder circumstances have to be taken, harder choices have to be made, harder decisions have to be made, and it's not by players. It's probably more like Riot and all this kind of stuff. So my advice to everybody else is, if Lion and G2 were to get eliminated at the time I finished, at pretty much the time it being uploaded, I just want you to think about yourselves. I will watch the best League of Legends that I can watch. I will admire the best League of Legends I will watch, and that is my job. I do not cater my channel to like your Western stuff. I cater to watch the best League of Legends and just admire it. If you do not like it, go pound sand. Just be on your way. You can do whatever you want and be fine. But I care about the best League of Legends ever. And if the best League of Legends is seeing Western teams getting crushed by Eastern teams, so be it. But I don't want this entire year to be like all Gen G, all Eastern teams dominated, and it just feels like it's nothing. I just don't want that. I just want a competitive League of Legends where anybody can beat anybody on a given day. That doesn't mean that Korea is going to win every single international title they've seen, but I just want like a real competitiveness. And if that comes from like the players or the region or everybody else, well, that's gonna be that's pretty much it. So, anyways, it's a long, rambling discussion, nearly 30 minutes. I guess I just wanted to say that I know the skepticism around the entire league globe is just feel doomed and empty because of what happened this series and probably the next year. But I just wanted to know, man, I love League of Legends, and I get that I wanted to see a Western team league because I'm living in the West. But I just want some good League of Legends, man. I just want some really wholesome, good League of Legends. And if that's not your thing, then you're not a League of Legends fan in my eyes. You're just a guy who just wanted to vent, just wanted to throw some hate around the players and all kind of stuff. When really, you just have to appreciate League of Legends, just like you appreciate table tennis for Chinese, and just like you appreciate South Korean archery, and just appreciate like great League of Legends. Just appreciate that League of Legends is a game that's been ruled by the best for the longest time, and it will continue to be dominate the best until status quo happens. It will have to be hard and it will have to be changes, but that's the way it is. So thank you all for watching. It's been a long rambling, of course. I just want you guys to enjoy this first stand, however it is. It doesn't matter. And I will see you all next time. Hopefully, with First Stand Report being more analytical and not just more doomism, I guess. Have a good weekend.